Hello again, and welcome back, everybody, to another edition of the Rural Report. I am your Rural 2IC, and we are finishing up. We only got a couple more days for the 30 days of preparedness, aka the month of September, where if you've been following along, I've been doing the letters of the alphabet. Well, the letters are over and we still have a few more days. So if you look at the thumbnail, I did some symbols, and that will tip you off on what maybe these will be about, right? So what are we going to do today? Well, today's symbol is the check mark. And the reason why I want to do this up is because I want to use it as a day of reminder to check things. And you can use it however you want. You're checking things off a list, or physically checking things. And so, some examples of that would be, do you have bags? Now, whether that's a bug out bag, a car bag, a medical bag, anything along those lines, when's the last time you've checked them? Have you gone through and checked expiration dates? Have you checked to make sure that everything is still good and functioning the way it's supposed to, that seals are not torn or somebody else didn't get into it without your knowledge? Does it need resupplied? Does it need restocked? Does it need updated? There's a lot of things that go with the seasons. There's a lot of things, as we said, with expiration dates. There's a lot of things that you can go in and you can actually physically check when it comes to things like your bags, or your pantry, or anything along those lines. Moving into the pantry, it's a good one to start checking, like food and water. Check all of your rations, check all those things. So, we can pivot into basically anything that would have an expiration date. So that's inside, making sure that you are rotating all of your canned goods, anything that has a not too far out expiration date, things like your freeze dried and things like that. You still have to rotate those, but you want to make sure that you are kind of putting things into an order that makes sense, right? You want to take your stuff that is the furthest out and kind of leave it out there, but you don't want to get it too far, because as it moves this way to expiring, you might as well go ahead and start putting it into your daily meal prep, using it and replacing that with another one. So that way you're good for another 15, 20, 25 years, whatever it is that you buy. But that also goes with things like gasoline, diesel, anything like that. They all have a shelf life of, how well that they can be stored and still be viable and usable. Um, but we can also go into actually like a list, and we can go into, what's your plan? What is your actual plan of action? Okay. What is it that you are going to do? What's your red lines? What is it that when this happens, it's, we need to be a lot more aware. When this happens, that's yellow flag. That's huge caution. This is crossing the line. That's ultra red flag. That's, A, B, and C now goes into effect. Have you updated that? When's the last time you've practiced it and actually physically done it? When we do things at school, or even some places at work and whatever, we have a fire drill. Here is an actual written down plan of action. Here is us actually doing it on this day. So that way it puts muscle memory in. There's a lot of people that they just, whatever, it's a waste of time, but it's not. Okay, it may be a waste of time for you, but there's people out there that they will panic, and without some sort of muscle memory, they'll probably freeze, or they'll run in the wrong direction. They'll run down the hallway that's a dead end. So that's why we go through and we practice. Not only is it beneficial for us, but it also allows us, if you are higher elevated in that skill, you're able to evaluate others and see, what is the areas that other people need to work on. You can start seeing strengths and weaknesses and different things like that. You can see if your whole entire group is really doing well and you guys are elevating and elevating. Maybe it's time to start focusing on something else, and you don't have to train this one as often. So make sure as you go through, check everything and see where you stand, see where you need to work, where you need to develop, and where you can kind of back off of. Next, I want to say, and this is going to be an interesting one, check for new things. Okay. Do not get stuck in your old ways. Be open minded enough when it comes to classes, when it comes to gear, any of that stuff. Don't just get into that old mindset where you're like, well, my good old trusted bang bang stick is the way it is. Look, if it's great and it's reliable, that's wonderful. Doesn't mean that there's not something out there that might be better for you. Okay. So it's always good to leave those options open. There might be a new uh, round developed that might be better suited for you. There might be new gear that makes things a little lighter or makes things easier or better or combines three or four things into one thing. Make sure you don't get set into that old school mentality to where you just shut it down. Nope, I've got my plan, I've got everything, I don't want to hear nothing. That can be a huge mistake. Now that doesn't mean that we're gullible and we just throw caution to the wind and we listen to every person that there is out there and buy up everything that is being sold to us. Okay, that's not what I'm saying, but it's one of those that as long as you have the mentality of being able to digest information, it's good to listen to others, to see that sales pitch, to see something in action, to take a class. I'm well versed in medical. I'm not going to go take a medical class. Okay, well, there's a bunch of people going, hey, this medical class is like nothing else. You should probably attend. You can either be stuck in your old ways and you might be really good, or you can go over here and might learn a thing or two. Okay, it just is one of those things that I see it often, not so much with new preppers, but more with the seasoned kind of people that they buckle down and they get real defensive about certain areas of their area. This is better. This is it. This is it or nothing. And I think it's a mistake. I think that in some cases, yeah, absolutely, they're right. It is a mistake, and what they have or what they know is as good or better than what's being offered. But there's also cases that they're wrong, and it's okay to be wrong. It's okay to humble yourself down and listen. It might be something to where you can take that piece of gear or that information and apply it differently and put yourself vastly above. You can make yourself that much more of a valuable asset to you, your team, your community, all that. So don't be afraid to try out some new things. So today, it's check day. Okay, so go through, do your checks, run all your stuff, check outside, check your security, check your perimeter, check your area of operations. Go through and see, does anything look out of place? Does all the windows still lock, doors still lock? Go from the inside and the outside, test them out. Go walk around the barn, the garage, the shed, the house. Does anything look out of place? Does anything get it to where you're giving somebody an easy access? Go through and check everything. Put it down on paper, put it plans into action, check your gear. Is everything good? Uh, there's a lot of times, even for me, I go through, I think I'm good. It comes down to check day. I go to check it and I realize that um, my bottle of lubricant for my firearm somehow got a pinhole and leaked all over the place. Well, in my mindset, I'm fine. It was fine last time. It's been fine all the times before that. Should be fine now, except this time it wasn't. And if it came down to it, say SHTF happened, what's the chances of me running down to the local Pew Pew store and picking up another bottle, right? So it's a good thing to periodically go over and check our stuff. So with that, I'm going to cut this out. I hope you guys had a little bit of enjoyment, maybe some entertainment as I wave my arms around and try and tell you what comes out of here. But again, I'm going to issue the challenge. What are some things that you guys can check? Tell me down in the comment section below. Let's get together as a prepping community. You guys have been doing fantastic with all of these. So make sure if you haven't, go back and read some of the comments on some of these last videos. There's a few of you that's putting together impressive, huge lists. So hats off to you on that one. But I want to thank you guys so much for spending a little bit of time with me, and thank you for watching. And I hope you guys have an amazing day. Hope you have a blessed day. Stay tuned because there's more information to come. And with that, I want to remind you, remain united. So we're all prepping in this together.